Something happened on June 2nd that compliance teams in financial services, healthcare, and professional services are still working through. The US signed an executive order on AI and cybersecurity, and within days, the same question has started circulating in boardrooms and compliance functions across those regulated industries. Like, what does this mean for us? And who do you call? And I don't mean Ghostbusters, but some cybersecurity consultancies, they're getting that call, but a lot more haven't. I'm Deirdre Martin. I'm a neurostrategic business coach, and I work with consultancy founders who are technically excellent and commercially stuck. And I come at this from a completely different angle. I spent 20 years in retail banking in Ireland, most recently as a branch manager, and every customer interaction was regulated. I watched GDPR get telegraphed years in advance. We had training so far ahead that by the time it actually landed, half the staff were asking, what is GDPR again? And what's actually changed? And so what I know is this: when regulation landed and we weren't sure what to do, we didn't always ring the most qualified person that we could find. We rang the person who'd been talking about it already, who'd been talking about this specific topic, the one who felt like they'd already thought it through and that they were the expert just because they were visible and talking about it. So every regulated business has a new board level question sitting in front of them right now. Like, how exposed are we if AI changes the risk picture faster than our controls can keep up? And let's be real about this. If they don't invest in getting this right, they're exposing themselves to a much bigger cost if AI opens gaps their controls aren't ready for. Barclays, a bank in the UK, found that 68% of UK businesses are actively planning to increase cybersecurity spend this year. And the need is real, and so is the money following it. So the questions are starting to mount up. And when a regulatory event like this executive order lands on top of all of that, a compliance director or a chief risk officer, they're getting a brief from their legal team, and they have now, with this new EO, just a matter of weeks before they're having to present to the board. They're not running a procurement process necessarily. They're calling 2 or 3 people whose names come to mind first. So there's a window right now, and it opens every time a new regulation lands. But this one specifically is in your lane if you're a cybersecurity, AI risk, and data governance type professional. So here's the positioning move, and there are 3 parts to it. So the first one is name the event and frame it for your ideal client's world. And what I mean by this is your clients have seen the headlines, right? They're watching the news. They know what's coming. Someone still needs to take it out of policy language, though, and turn it into the question that their board is going to ask them when they go into that meeting next month. And that's you. It's up to you to create this language for them. So if you're going to create content in your social media, in a blog, in a newsletter, this is literally what you need to be creating this week. So whether it's an article, a video, whatever, wherever you show up, you're doing what an advisor does. You're saying, here's what's just happened, and here's the question worth asking as a result of it. And that's where the commercial conversation starts. So a question worth asking is a door to a conversation, and a conversation is where your pipeline begins. Part 2 is talk about what your client is actually experiencing right now. So what your client is experiencing in this moment as a result of that new EO. That's exactly what you need to be talking about. What the compliance team is actually mulling over, who the stakeholders are, the pressure maybe that they're feeling from the board, and the gap that it creates internally in the business, and for the advice that they're maybe giving their own clients as well. And if you're not talking about this when it's relevant, current, and time bound as a result of this executive order, you're absolutely missing a trick in your business. Talk about it well, and you will become easier to call. So when someone reads what you've written and thinks, that's exactly where we are, their brain is going to register that recognition, and that's what's going to earn you the call. So your client's urgent questions are the immediate brief or the work that you need to be doing in your business right now. And if you're not giving them a reason to choose you over everybody else right now, that's a lot of money down the drain. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So give them a reason to choose you. And part three is making that next step really easy. And that might mean adding one sentence at the end of your content, something that's specific, low stakes, feels low risk for them, nothing that feels like you're pitching them or pitch slapping or super sales or anything. Something like if you're a regulated business and you want to think through what this means for your clients, for you and your business, I have 2 strategy calls available this month. That's it. Most founders underestimate how fast a single use of a piece of content can move someone from reading to booking. Because what the content does is answer the question the client hadn't quite put into words yet. And when that happens, the call feels like the obvious next step, total no brainer. And I've worked in banking for long enough to know that the branches that handle regulatory change didn't handle it well because the branch manager was brilliant. It was because they had a system underneath the knowledge. So when a complex case came in, you didn't have to rely on one specific person being in that day. And I'll be honest, I've been that person. So when the guidance didn't cover the situation and you're sitting across from a customer who's scared and you're not fully sure what the right answer is, you ring head office because the process only got you so far and then it was down to you. And I see the same thing in cybersecurity consultancies. A founder with genuine experience and good client relationships, a business that completely depends on them being in every single aspect of it, every question, sale, piece of work, everything that routes back through one person. So that founder posts brilliant content after the AI executive order drops. They're going to get calls and then they're going to hit a completely different wall. They can't take on more work without actually, manufacturing more hours in your day. And they can't hand the sales conversation to anyone else because maybe nobody else yet exists in the business. Or maybe because the positioning only exists in your head. And the pipeline is going to grow and the founder is going to get busy and the regulatory event exposed this opportunity, but your business model is going to determine whether you can actually take this now and run with it and get some serious traction really quickly. So the consultancies that are going to scale through windows like these, they've done something first. They've done the positioning. They've written it down somewhere clearly, so clearly, in fact, that somebody else can explain it. They've packaged their offers so they feel like bespoke and tailored offers for their clients, but actually they're literally just pulling them off the shelf. And the sales conversation has enough structure because they've packaged those offers so that somebody else can actually hold that conversation. And the delivery doesn't fall apart when you take a couple of weeks holidays, right? That's what turns regulatory events like this from a busy week into a pipeline that is planned out for a quarter or a full H2. And in banking, we talked about the difference between a process and a person. The branches with processes handle change. The ones that built things entirely around a person struggled every time something new landed, often without knowing why. And your clients are buying the confidence that your business has seen this before and knows what to do. The business has to actually have it, not just you. So if you recognize that pattern where you're technically excellent, you have a solid reputation, happy clients, but everything is still routing back through you, take the quiz below. It's going to show you whether your next constraint or opportunity to grow is around your positioning, offer, sales, or delivery. It's a diagnostic. It'll take you 2 to 3 minutes, and the result is specific to where your business is right now, not generic advice about content or LinkedIn. The link is below. So regulatory events like this executive order, they are demand signals. And this one is live right now. And the consultancies that turn this window into a pipeline quarter have built a business that can handle what comes next. So the window is open. Go and get your business ready to walk through it.